When I was starting out, nobody ever really taught me different brush techniques. I just figured it out the hard way. But after countless hours at the easel, I picked up a lot of insight on how brushwork can completely change the look and feel of a painting. These days, it's second nature for me to reach for different brushes and use a mix of techniques as a painting takes shape. Whether you've been painting for years or you're just starting out, understanding the techniques behind brushwork can take your paintings to a whole new level. So in this video, I'm going to show you 6 brush techniques that you should know and how to use them in your own paintings. I'll be using brushes from my Princeton brush landscape set. I've also put together a free companion guide for you that covers these techniques. Look for the link in the description to download those. Hey there, I'm Layne Johnson. I help regular people learn classical painting techniques so they can paint the landscapes they love and have fun doing it. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to go back to the fundamentals. 6 essential brush techniques that have been used by classical painters for centuries. And for good reason. These are the techniques I still use every day in my own work to create realistic light, atmosphere, and texture. By the way, be sure to stick around till the end, and I'll tell you how you can get your own set of my Princeton brushes for free. Let's get started. One of the most basic painting techniques happens early in a painting. It's called blocking in. But what is that? And why do we do it? Basically, we block in by painting the large basic shapes, the masses that make up the scene. This is the beginning process that quickly establishes the foundation for later forms, colors, and values. One thing you can do is to simply squint. That'll help you to see those big shapes without getting distracted by details or color. Once those are in place, you can start developing form, which is where depth really begins. And depth is what you want if you want to paint a scene that's realistic. One of the easiest ways to create form is by blending. Blending bridges one color to another, creating smooth, gradual transitions. Also, you can blend through several different colors, for example, in a gradient sky. Oils are perfect for this because of their slower drying time. It gives you the freedom to soften edges or merge tones right on the canvas. Blending ease is one of the main reasons artists transition from acrylics to oils. These next 2 techniques are related to each other, dry brush and scumbling. The dry brush technique is basically what it sounds like. You're using a brush with minimal paint to create textured broken strokes. Often you'll wipe the brush to remove paint, then lightly drag it across the canvas's surface, allowing the brush to skip over the texture of the canvas. The result is a broken textured stroke lets the underlayer peek through. It's perfect for adding textures you might want for tree bark, foliage, or rough ground textures. When used in the background, you can create atmospheric effects where the broken textures are softer and blend optically. By the way, don't forget to download my free guide to classical brush techniques. It's a quick reference for everything in today's video. Look for the link in the description when you're done watching. Scumbling is related to dry brush, but the goal is different. Here, you apply a thin, opaque layer, usually a lighter color, over a darker, textured layer that's already dry. That broken layer creates beautiful depth and atmosphere, letting the colors underneath shine through. It's perfect for soft transitions like you see with distant hills or glowing atmospheric clouds. Then there's glazing, one of my favorite techniques. Glazing is applying a transparent layer of paint mixed with medium over dry paint. It subtly shifts the color or value underneath without covering it up. I use this toward the end of a painting to adjust mood, unify colors, or increase luminosity. Finally, impasto, which simply means using thicker paint to add texture or emphasis. There are some artists who paint exclusively with thicker paint, but since I paint in layers, I typically only use impasto near the end of a painting. I often use it for highlights or small areas of texture that I want catching the light. And I use it with restraint because it can be dramatic. A little goes a long way. I love using impasto in the final stages of a painting to give emphasis to focal points, to bring dimension to the foreground, or to create a sparkle of sunlight on water. So there you have it, 6 classical painting techniques that every landscape artist should know: blocking in, blending, dry brushing, scumbling, glazing, and impasto. These techniques are the foundation for creating paintings with real depth, atmosphere, and life. Practice each one, and you'll start to see your landscapes take on a whole new level of realism. Want the companion guide for this video? It covers everything I shared here, so you can reference it anytime you need it. You'll find the link in the description, along with details on where to get my Princeton brush landscape set. And here's something fun. I'm giving away a few of my new brush sets to say thanks for all the support. To enter, just leave a comment below and tell me which technique you like the most. And by the way, it's completely free to enter. I'll announce the winners in an upcoming video or community post, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. You can also find all the giveaway details and official rules down in the description. Thanks for joining me in the studio. Be sure to watch this video next, where I'll show you some awesome classical painting effects that you can use to create depth in your landscapes. Until then, enjoy the journey.